Hello everyone, it is I Rstuds, and today I am going to be talking about the official new LEGO Star Wars 2021 January Wave set pictures. Basically, yesterday we had three set pictures drop. We had the Taunton vs. AT-AT drop kind of weirdly, and we also had the new Encounter on Tatooine set pictures. Like, we got more pictures of that, but we already kind of knew about it. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how LEGO messed up hard. They messed up hard with this one. And I'm also going to be obviously doing the analysis first, so I figured, let's just jump right on into it. Now, I'm going to start off with the Encounter on Tatooine set, because everything I say in this video doesn't apply to it. Now, this is a pretty good set. I really like the way they handled the Encounter on Tatooine. It comes with 276 pieces, ages 7 and up, retail set 75299, and it has 3 figures retailing for basically $30, which is a little overpriced, but I see it. Like, that's like the equivalent of like a Final First Battle Pack or an Anakin Starfighter. Like, I could see that. That's totally worth it. You get in this set the only cool figures of this wave. You obviously get Baby Yoda. There's a nice cheap way for people to get Baby Yoda if they didn't pick up the buildable one or the Razor Crest. And it's also a nice way to get the only Beskar Mando, which is sick. It is the, I'm going to say this right now, on the record, only cool figure of these entire wave. I think that's a big disappointment. I'll get in more of my thoughts on that later. But yeah, you get the little arrow shooting thing. It has like a silver flick fire, which is pretty neat. You get the Mando and his speeder. The speeder looks amazing. I love it. It looks gorgeous. Obviously, the Baby Yoda pouch, that's adorable. No complaints there. Beskar Mando has arm printing. Again, no complaints there. The HUD looks pretty neat. If you get like 2 of these sets, I'm probably going to get 2 or 3 just because it's the only cool one. And you just make the full hut or something along those lines. I'm going to have like 1 to keep sealed, 2 to open up, and yeah, it'll be fun. But I really like this set. Let me get that out of the way. It's awesome. Everything about it's cool. Now we get into the dicey territory. This is the ages 6 and up, set 75295, the Millennium Falcon Microfighter with 101 pieces, Series 8 of our Microfighters, and retailing for $10 as our usual arrangement. Now, this set is even more disappointing than I thought it would be. On top of it being the 3rd Microfighter they've released, this one is basically a combination of the 2018 one and the 2016 one, which, by the way, was my very first LEGO Star Wars set, which is why I'm going to be picking this up. I'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, so you get Han Solo in his exact same Episode 4 uniform, which I guess that's a cheap way to get Han Solo, but Han Solo isn't that difficult of a figure to get generally. I've never really had a problem getting Han Solos personally. For people just getting into LEGO Star Wars, that's fine, but like, I have had problems getting other certain characters from LEGO Star Wars they haven't made in forever. This is a $10 Han Solo Microfighter, nothing special. There's literally nothing special about it. It's like the 2018 one basic. It's literally the 2018 one, except I think they switch up the dish a bit. Nothing exciting there. The Han is pretty the same, except it has a new hairpiece from the last 2014 Microfighter. Again, nothing super exciting there. Moving on to even more dicey territory, and I'm going to be talking about this one a bit more. It is the set 75300, the 432 pieces, the TIE Fighter, and oh, it's terrible. The box art looks good. I will say that is a good thing about the TIE Fighter. The figures are terrible. I mean, there's nothing special. Like, I think they could have included arm printed Vader to make it a draw. They could have included Moff Gideon, Moff Tarkin, like literally anyone. Like, they just included a TIE pilot, a stormtrooper, and some random droid. I'm not going to say the name because nobody cares. But yeah, you get, obviously, your spring-loaded shooters. It looks very boxy. I don't like the boxiness of it at all. No, just not for me. And the wings are small. Now, I had a bit of an idea earlier I wanted to talk about, but let's move into the next one. Next up, we have the new set 75301, the 474 pieces, the X-Wing. Now, I've heard a lot of people praising this one. I have some thoughts on it. I do like the General Dodonna. I was actually making comments about how we haven't gotten one in my first LEGO Star Wars CMF series. I might put that in the card, I might not. But yeah, so like, that's really cool. I might just try to, yeah, I'm gonna buy this set, but still, I'm not happy about it. And then finally, the set we had released is this, not officially, but it was on the back. It is set 75298, the AT-AT versus Taunton. Now, let me just say, I liked the old AT-AT better because it was adorable and there was a whole community craze over it. I think that was great. And the fact that it's going up against an adorable Taunton, you'd think they just take that old design. I would have rather them brought back the old design, to be completely honest, because it's an adorable AT-AT versus Taunton. It's not like there's any lore things here. Now, the Taunton is arguably adorable. It looks weird. People are saying that the lightsaber in Luke's hand is, like, special or, like, a new mold or something. I don't think so. LEGO's been using the same lightsaber mold for the last 21 years now. I don't think it's going to be changing. The Taunton looks alright. Next to, like, I'm sure it will be a good build. I personally, again, like the molds more. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, the AT-AT, I think, is a downgrade from last time, because I like the last one, actually, ironically. And this one is just okay. And I'm also noticing that they are integrating stud shooters into the microfighters now. You know, that makes more sense. If I was to integrate the stud shooters into any sets, you know, I would integrate them into the, like, 4+ sets and microfighters, not battle packs. They make sense in the 4+ sets. I believe they're not in the 4+ sets. They might be, but they make sense in the 4+ sets, obviously, because you, like, shoot targets and stuff. That makes sense. And microfighters, they're supposed to be affordable ways to get LEGO. I get that. But battle packs are for army building. So, no battle packs. Don't touch my battle packs with those stud shooters. I mean, apparently LEGO won't have to, since we're not getting battle packs, which, again, I'll talk about in another video. But yes, so my thoughts on these sets. They're terrible. Now, I'm going to go talk a little bit about each of them, and I'm going to be talking about why I think they stink and what LEGO's doing wrong. Now, first up, obviously, we have the Millennium Falcon Microfighter. Again, unoriginal, nothing special. I don't want to spend too much time on that. The thing I really want to spend time on are the TIE Fighter and X-Wing Fighter. Now, a lot of people have been praising these sets. Now, the TIE Fighter is going for $40, which is a decent price, looking at, again, Anakin Starfighter from this year was $40, and the AAT from this year was $40. So, comparing it to that, I think that's a fair value. It's a fair value. I'll say that next to, like, the AAT, which is $40. Now, you get the $50 X-Wing. That's the one I don't like as much. I'll get into that in a bit. I've seen a lot of people praising it because the price is really reasonable for what it is. Yes, that's fine. I thought when I first saw the pictures, like the leaks and everything, I'm like, we're evolving just backwards. Well, what's happening essentially is, yeah, we're moving forward. Like, we've had, like, all these great X-Wings. Now, understand this was also, like, $70, $80, but you look at this. This is a thick build. This is a big, chunky build, and you see that, and you're like, that could be a display model almost. It's close. But it also looks good. So then, yeah, like, you push it up, you get the X-Wing, and you also, it feels kind of bulky in here. Like, you feel like you're, like, getting a full X-Wing. With this one, it feels like they tore it down to its bare bones, almost like it's, like, nothing. The TIE Fighter looks like they took it between, like, this set, I don't have the solo one, and this set. Now, yeah, so basically, I will say the TIE Fighter looked a little bigger than I thought, but it is much shrunken down. Now, I understand the argument that it makes it cheaper. I get that. I'm going to address it in a second. But basically, what's going on here is, like, you can look back at the older sets. You could look at the 2004 and probably, like, 6 and 8 and whenever they came out X-Wings, and you will see they get progressively better. They started off looking kind of like what we're getting now, but less, like, lighting and stuff, and, like, the bricks were a little drier, but they were generally, like, what we're getting up now, and we were evolving forward. We were making the sets look better, and I think that LEGO would be able to actually do it well, but obviously cost-effective if that's what they're going for. Overall, I think they just messed up. Now, with the TIE Fighter, this is my argument for the TIE Fighter. Here is the Junior's TIE Fighter. Now, you look at this, and you're like, okay, that's pathetic. It's not supposed to be a playset. Obviously, it's just like a little dinky build. Nobody likes it. I get that. It's a junior set. It gives it a pass for everything, even though they look terrible. And apparently we're getting another X-Wing one. I don't know what that's about. But this build, I don't know why, maybe this is just me, but the new TIE Fighter build, the inside looks very, like, bulky and, like, almost, like, rectangular, square-like shape. Like this one, they perfected it to be pretty much perfectly round. I mean, you look at the older TIE Fighters, and they kind of had the same feel this new one's having. And this one over here, this is a round one. It's, like, got nice curvature. Look at its curvature. It looks good. The thing that LEGO has really perfected over the last year is being able to make them look like good models, as well as a good play toy that you could have fun with and everything. Now they're making them just the same play features. There's nothing too extra when it comes to play features in terms of these sets. It's not like they're adding extra little builds around, but they're just basically stripping them down and making them, like, as thin and as, like, less detail as possible, because I think the difference between a good set and a bad set is the detail that makes up the set. When you have a really good set, you say, wow, that set was so detailed. You look at, like, say, the UCS Millennium Falcon. I know that's a big example, but you like that one because of the amount of detail it had. If you just had the bare bones of that, like, if you had the general structure of the Millennium Falcon without the detail, it kind of takes, obviously that would take it away a ton of the value of it. I think a somewhat good but not really good comparison, because I couldn't think of one with a set I own, but he's comparing like this MTT from 2014 with the old 2005 one that was sick. Everyone loved it because it had those extra droids, it had the crazy detail, it looked amazing, and I think when you do this type of a thing, it really takes that away. It takes the little novelty of it's known for having detail. And I know, terrible example, because one's a UCS, I believe, and one is a playset. Bad example, but the point is that the detail is what makes the set, and if you just strip it of all that detail, it's gonna feel like, yeah, that's an X-Wing, but it's not like, yeah, that's an X-Wing, like, that's cool. It's just the bare bones X-Wing. Now, I want to also state that, but with the TIE Fighter, again, I think it looks boxy. Maybe that's just me. The figure selection, garbo. Nothing good about it. Maybe if the droid's really what you're into, fine. But overall, the TIE's boxy, and obviously it's shorter. It kind of reminds me of a Star Wars Rebels TIE Fighter. If they did that, they could completely justify it because the wings were shorter, the cockpit was a little larger, and they could have made like the inside a little bigger and called it as Rebels TIE Fighter. I'd be good with that. Studs approved, but that's not what they're doing. They're doing a episode 6 or episode 2 or whatever, or episode 4 or whatever, TIE Fighter. And I'm not even gonna bother talking about the microfighters because they're microfighters. I'm not gonna get down that rabbit hole. But I think the thing I really want to address, obviously, is beyond them downgrading the set to making less interesting, less cool, stripping them of all the little details and the things that make it look like a TIE Fighter or an X-Wing, or the things that really make it shine and make it look like a good display model and play model. Because, when they're younger, they play with it. When they're older, they can put it on a shelf and admire it. Can't do that now. The big offender here is obviously the unoriginality. I mean, this is one I think we can all fairly agree on. Now, in the last year, we still have, or in the last 5 years, say, we've still gotten 4 movies. We've gotten a lot of movies. We've gotten a lot of TV shows. We still haven't gotten many sets from episode 8. We still haven't, I'm not a huge fan of the sequels. I don't like them that much. But still, we have, the Star Destroyers that were in episode 9, the Palpatine Star Destroyers. We have the Palpatine, we didn't get a duel with him. And obviously behind that, the prequels, I'm not even going to address that. You guys know my stance on that. Of course I want prequels and Clone Wars. We just had the Mandalorian, which LEGO knows was beloved by everyone. I don't know if this was with the set, because the way they have, even the box art, the Mando's just shooting at the Tusken, which is not how that episode went. So I don't know if they just got, some concept art, and they're like, have fun. I don't know what they did. That's probably what they did with Lucasfilm, so maybe that's why we're not getting as many Mando sets. It's also why I assume they didn't have Beskar Mando up until now, because they were basically told as soon as they saw the Razor Crest, they're like, okay, we gotta pump this thing out with Baby Yoda, because that's all the craze. And they probably saw it at the same time we did. But when it comes to, episode 8, episode 9, we still haven't gotten sets from those movies. I still think there's a lot of good material that could be made. The Mandalorian. Obviously, a lot of good material to be made. Obviously, there's the Clone Wars. We didn't get any Siege of Mandalore sets, really. I mean, we got Ahsoka and Ahsoka Clone Trooper, but we didn't get any, Mandos. We still haven't gotten a Bo-Katan. But overall, I just think the fact that we're just doing the X-Wings, doing the TIE Fighters, we literally did them last year. Even if it wasn't even 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, we did them too. They were just in different versions. We had the original, sequel, original. You guys know the drill. That seems to be what they're doing. But again, just disappointing. I can't keep overstating this enough. Now, a lot of people I've seen say like it because it's a good price. Sure. But who cares if it's a good price when it's completely unoriginal, completely something we've already gotten before, and just that's still on the shelves. Glad LEGO's making an effort to try to make things seem cheaper, or make them cheaper by lowering them. That's a very nice effort. I think the way they've done the Final Force Battle Pack was a perfect example of that. They had a nice, decent build. You get a lot of figures. You have a lot of fun with it. That was $30. I think that's a good deal. And I even think to an extent the AAT is. I think it's a little overpriced. That could have been $35. But they did good with that. Overall, obviously, the two worst defenders so far are the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing. I want to get my hopes up for the Imperial Shuttle, but I probably won't. Seeing how the TIE Fighter and X-Wing both went, they both came with okay figures. Like, I expect there to be one exclusive figure in the X-Wing. We got it. In the TIE Fighter, we might get one exclusive figure. My prediction right now is we're going to probably get like a Stormtrooper, maybe Vader, maybe an officer, an Ewok, and maybe a Rebel or some custom dude. I don't know who the other one's going to be. We're going to get something along those lines. Probably. Maybe we'll get Emperor Palpatine and a Red Royal Guard. I don't know. Yeah, I think LEGO seriously screwed up with this one. They could have done so much better. Like, there were so many different things. Like, The Mandalorian, they could have done the transporter that was at the end of Season 1. Like, that they had time to do that, I'm sure. They could have done so many other things. Like, I would have been so excited to see anything but what we're doing right now. And it's honestly just massively disappointing. And I think, again, everyone, I think, generally doesn't feel this way. I think everyone got really excited when they see the TIE Fighter and X-Wing. They're like, ooh, a new shiny thing. It's like when you see a shiny toy on the shelf. But once it's out there and everyone, like, has it, they're not gonna, like it as much. And that goes for everything, but this especially, it's gonna be like, there's nothing I really want here. It's like there's never gonna be that, like, that kind of a feeling. Like, whenever you see a 5 Style Pack, you're like, yes, I want it. But there's nothing here other than the Mando set. Again, everything I say in this video excludes that. That set is near perfect. To address this, in terms of figures, this wave, there are only a grand total of, like, 2 actually interesting minifigures, that being, but his General Dodonna, yeah, and Beskar Mando. Like, those are the only actual figures of interest, which is annoying for me, because I really like centering my channel and, like, all the thumbnails and stuff around the figures, and when there's only 2 interesting ones, like, who's gonna want to click on one with a Stormtrooper we've had forever? Like, that's just boring. I, personally, am gonna be buying these sets, and you're all like, Stud, you just spent 40 minutes dissing them being stupid. Yes, I did, I know. Now, the reason I'm going to be buying these sets is to back up what I'm saying, because I could be wrong. I could get it in hand. Wow, that's a cool set. Guarantee you it's not going to happen, but it could happen, and I want to be able to back my claim, because I don't want to be here saying the new sets are terrible without even buying them, because that just kind of seems unfair, and I want to at least be able to back my claim and say, prove, okay, this is terrible. I have it in hand. It doesn't look good. That's what I want to be able to do. So, with that said, I hope you guys all enjoyed my little rant on this new sets and analysis and everything. I just wanted to talk about it because it's annoying, and there's just generally nothing that interesting about it. Like, I think that's the main thing that bothers me. There's no interesting element of this other than Mando set. Again, take that out. Mando set, just put him away. That doesn't count. Untouchable. But everything else, just boring. Like, we've gotten X-Wings. We've gotten TIE Fighters. We've gotten the Microfighters, but I don't count those because they're that. We didn't have Battle Pack. Like, Battle Packs are usually the highlight, no matter what no matter what the Battle Packs contain. Everyone always at least has to pick up one because, you know, the Battle Packs always have something to bring to the table. This time, we don't get Battle Packs. Yeah. With that said, remember to peace out, stay awesome. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.